Over the years, I've accumulated a lot of pedals and I need to make room here in the studio, so I'm putting a lot of stuff for sale, and I wanted to take you through the process that I'm going through when I'm trying to choose the best examples of different circuits. Now today I'm going to be doing the whole Tube Screamer thing. I'm going to start by saying that I'm not a big fan of the Tube Screamer circuit. I'm also not a big fan of the Klon style circuit, but I do have a favorite of each example, and I keep them in case I actually need them for whatever, a cover, or if I'm playing with a band and I need a Tube Screamer or a Klon or whatever circuit. I'm going to have the one that I think is the best on hand. So today I have some pedals that are either inspired by the Tube Screamer or are modified versions of that type of circuit. The first one on the chopping block is going to be the 𝐒𝐓𝐀𝐌𝐿 Still Singer. This one here looks like it does the whole dumble thing, but in fact it really is more like a Tube Screamer. It does the same thing a Tube Screamer would do. So I'm not sure what this is based on. I know that Mason from Vertex Effects was saying that they were copying his design, but from what I can tell, it has nothing to do with their thing. Their thing is more of a dumble. This looks dumble-ish, but it really doesn't sound anything like a dumble. It's Tube Screamer for sure. The next one is going to be the Mooer Green Mile, which does the Tube Screamer thing, but it's got a mod here where you get like this fat boost, which I really like. I think they call it the hot and the warm. But to me, it sounds like it's less filtered over here and it has way more gain. It's a very cool pedal. Not my favorite, but I do enjoy it. I also have this guy here, which could be debated is not a Tube Screamer. I believe this here is asymmetrical clipping, but it's doing the same thing. It sounds very much like a Tube Screamer-ish type of thing. And I remember really enjoying this one. I thought this one, because I used to have a Tube Screamer, and when I compared this one, to me, hands down, was better. It's a matter of opinion, but again, I'm doing this to see which one I like. So your preference might be quite different with this video. Then there is the Diva drive from T-Rex. This one here has 3 modes. So you have a neutral kind of mode, you have a fat one, and at the bottom you have a mid boost. And the mid boost really does the Tube Screamer thing. But the advantage with this one is that you have a mix knob or a blend knob, if you will. So you can get more of the clean tone in there, or just go full out, raging, soft clipping kind of thing. Top mounted, really sturdy, not too expensive. And the last example I have today is, because I don't have an original Tube Screamer, because I just don't like the original Tube Screamer, but it's a matter of preference here. This one here, the green Rhino. At first I wasn't too sure what it was, but I saw a video with George Trips where he confirms that this is basically a true bypass 808 with some tweakability here, where you can get, if you go all the way to the left, to the right, you get the mid hump of a Tube Screamer, and then you can dial that out with this. And over here, you can reduce the low end or add some low end. So it's basically a TS808 with a lot of tweakability. It's a bit noisy, but it's really cool with the Red Llama. When you stack this with the Red Llama, I don't know what it is about the circuit, but I've tried other similar TS style circuits and they just don't sound the same with the Red Llama. But this one here, sturdy, top mounted, tweakability. It's a cool pedal. I'm not sure if that's the one I'm going to go for, but I'm going into this thinking I have a preference, but once I'm going to hear and compare and contrast, I'm going to have to make a decision. And yeah, we'll see. Maybe the expensive version is going to be the one I keep. Maybe the really cheap version is the one I keep. I just want to go for what's best. It's not something I'm going to be playing all the time, but if I need one, I need to make sure that I actually like the pedal. So let's go give it a shot. enjoyed this video so far, please give it a thumbs up. And if you enjoy this kind of content, consider subscribing. I come out with new videos every week. Some of them are sponsored videos, but there's a lot of non-sponsored stuff that's just very geeky and me going down the rabbit hole. So if that's the kind of thing you like, just consider subscribing. It really does help when you do that. I've done a few of these videos already, and sometimes the conclusion is really cut and dry. I know which one I'm going for, and I don't overthink it. This time I find it a little harder because I'm starting from the viewpoint that I'm not the biggest fan of the Tube Screamer, but I still want a good example of it. The Still Singer is really good. It really does the Tube Screamer thing quite well. The Green Mile is very good too. To me, they are maybe not the best examples for what I like in this particular shootout. The Diva Drive is really cool. I could probably keep that one and be satisfied with it because I think it's the most versatile out of all the ones that I have here in this shootout. Form factor is great. I mean, it's not a highly sought after pedal and it's still quite readily available. I'm debating between two pedals right now. That would be the SD1. So this guy here, the one I have here is made in Taiwan, so it's not like a vintage one. There's nothing special about it. It's the same thing you could probably buy right now if you were to buy one. Sturdy pedal. just a classic design. And I don't know, I believe this is asymmetrical clipping. I'm gonna have to check, because I've always heard that this was asymmetrical and the tube screamer was symmetrical clipping. And every time I try something that's asymmetrical, I always like it. I don't know what it is about it, but I always have a penchant for it. So this one here is definitely something I think I'm gonna keep. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna keep it. And my favorite is really the green Rhino, just because I know how it reacts with the red llama, which is one of my favorite pedals. And the SD1 doesn't do the same thing with the red llama. It doesn't interact the same way. So I think I'm going to keep both. There's going to be a more true-ish tube screamer, and the other one's going to be like a different flavor on it. And the other three pedals are going to have to go. So that's my lowdown. I'm probably going to keep two examples, just because I find they're different enough that it can warrant keeping the both of them. So let me know what you think. Is there one in the bunch here that stood out to you? Are you kind of leaning the same way I am? Or did you find that one of the pedals I decided not to keep would be more your style? So yeah, let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, there are more appearing like it right now on screen. Click on one of those, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Cheers.